Hey guys, Thomas Jr. here, aka Mustached Tom, here to review Suicide Squad. So, after hearing all the debacle and hearing a few other reviews, I decided to finally step in and watch Suicide Squad myself, and yeah, there are issues, and I'll address those first. Mainly the editing. Now, there is a scene, or two, or maybe even three, that are clearly cut from the movie. And the first one, I think I know exactly why they cut it. It's because of the critics. I think that's my reasoning. As of right now, the whole Batman versus Superman thing of, oh, it's too dark, it's too grim, it's too brutal, I believe that is the reason they cut the first scene. And the scene I'm referring to is the scene where Harley Quinn is in her cage and the police are heading toward her and they're about to do something, but it cuts. And my belief is that they beat her up, but they cut it because it's too dark, it's too brooding, it's too aggressive. Um, and that's a shame that these individuals that were making this movie had to cut certain things, feeling pressured almost into doing this sort of thing. And even the rest of the movie does have great parts, but at other ends it does fall flat because of the editing. The other issue I want to address first, or secondly now, is the music. There's about, I think, 6 songs in this movie that play during the movie. I think you could have probably cut some of those songs, probably 3 of them at the very most. The music is just overbearing, and it's sometimes playing during scenes that don't really need any music at all. There's stuff going on there, so you don't need your music. It's not necessary. You could have cut 3 of those songs easily and still had a perfectly fine scene the way it was. Just let the scene play out. Just let the scene play out. It's not too hard to ask. And people have been comparing this now to Guardians of the Galaxy, because they're this unknown group and they're like these anti-heroes and they're on a space mission, and it's pretty much this a very similar sort of premise. uh and the music in that makes sense. I mean, I don't remember how many songs are in there per se because it's been a while, but I mean, it plays usually when the guy has his headphones on, music's coming from a place. It makes sense to the story, at least. So there's actually a purpose for it. Um, and it is a bit of a cheap shot, but hey, it is what it is. Um, and you probably heard everyone say who the top people are, and it's sort of tough to say even to that because, as I said, it's been cut. So you have your Will Smith, you have your Harley Quinn, and everyone's saying they did a super good job. And they also said that the director, the one who sort of set everything up, she was really good for the scene she did have. Like, she just goes about killing people at one scene, and that is bizarre that they would leave in a shooting, like her shooting guys, but they would cut out Harley getting beat. That's dumb. That's just dumb. I mean, it it's baffling almost. And everyone's siding on the Joker's performance. Now, I'll get into this myself as well. I don't even know. Because, quite frankly, he doesn't have enough scenes for me to even say whether or not he was good or bad. I think he has like 3 or 4 scenes, but they're so short. And what he does in them just doesn't really add up to anything. It doesn't really even feel like there's. His only goal is to save Harley Quinn throughout the movie, and he gets to that point, but other than that, there's just not much else going on with the character. I mean, he steals like this helicopter, and I guess that's like his greatest feat in this movie at the very least. But other than that, uh, to me, what was surrounding him in one scene was more fascinating than the character himself. The room with all the swords and whatnot that were surrounding him. That to me was more fascinating than the actual character as a whole, which should say something. That means they didn't put enough time into the character, honestly. We don't know where Batman is, but he has backflash sequences and he's somewhere. They show the Flash doing stuff to one of the guys that's in the Suicide Squad, and some people point out that he could have solved the problem, but I'm guessing they're gonna have him be somewhere else around this timeline or something along those lines. They mentioned Superman, and that to me is the most baffling, is that now we know for sure that this takes place after Superman is dead, and they're saying we need a countermeasure in case there's another Superman. And to me, that just feels sort of almost unnecessary. I mean, this whole sort of story sort of falls on the uh, the bad lady, whatever her name was. Um, it all leans on her. This is all her mistake. She gets Enchantress and she ends up summoning or doing something, and then there's like another guy and he ends up being the super bad guy, and it's like a magic thing, and they're possessing other guys, and Diablo ends up sort of being the superhero ish sort of guy, even though he killed his family. Then you have Killer Croc, who went underneath the water, and then he came up and he did a thing. But other than that, his character, in comparison to, say, someone like Diablo, it just doesn't quite stack up. Um, so yeah, this movie, its editing is just obviously bad. Its characterization is minimalistic at best, which is unfortunate. I think they could have spent a bit more time actually saying what these characters are doing and not have the music in front of it, because that distracts people. It distracts me. Those are the songs you could have cut out. The ones during the beginning where it's like you're introducing these characters. Let the characters have their moment without the music. The music is so distracting, and you just don't really get to hear what a lot of characters are saying because the music's playing over it, and they're just doing actions rather than saying things. Uh, Other than that, the second half of the movie is pretty safe. They do their mission, even when they're clocked out or the device that they put on them burns out or whatever it was. But there is a moment that does not make any sense. It makes zero sense. To me, it's an impossible ending because they captured the lady and they had her in this mind control thing. And when they defeat the super bad, she comes out of nowhere. She literally comes out of nowhere. No explanation. She has another device, supposedly. And I'm just like, nope. No. My suspension of disbelief does not believe that. That is bullshit. 100% bullshit. There is no way that happened. You have to have shown something, and you didn't. You failed to show me how this character pulled this off, so I do not believe this ending. This ending, to me, did not happen. At least that part of it didn't happen. It doesn't make any sense. There's no connection. There's no thread. There's just nothing there. So I'm gonna score it now. I'm gonna give this movie a 5 out of 10. I feel like this movie has bits and pieces where it does succeed, but they're incomplete. That's just how it is. And that's sort of scary that I'm giving this a lower score than I gave Batman versus Superman. That's not good. That's strike two for a lot more people than myself. This is strike two for DC. And I'm sure that something has to come along in order to save it. Everyone's looking to Wonder Woman. And yeah, sure, I am too at this point because nothing else in DC seems to be, I don't know, but there's stuff down the line, but I'm not, Wonder Woman I think is the closest one. I'm not 100% sure, but that's not good. Suicide Squad has hit and missed in so many ways, and at the very end, it just didn't quite stack up. And that's unfortunate. But I wanted to do something a little extra since everyone has done this and since I have fallen behind. That's right, I'm bringing it back. The superhero slash supervillain challenge from Zeak. You probably all knew that this was coming if you've seen my superhero slash supervillain challenges, so you all know how it goes. Syndicate X openly invites Suicide Squad, the entire squad, including even Enchantress herself, Vandal Diablo, and the superpowered guys, versus Syndicate X. There you go. There's Suicide Squad 2 for you. Suicide Squad versus Syndicate X. I'm laying it out there. I'm offering the free idea. It's a free idea. I'm not saying it's going to be free to make, but it's a free idea. Syndicate X is an open market superhero team, alright? So there you go. I'm opening my arms to DC and saying, you can have this if you want it. I'm willing to put on the suit, make business deals. I don't care. I do not care. I will do it for DC because I need to represent Syndicate X. And, if we just so happen to run into Marvel at some point, then hey, Syndicate X has finally bridged the gap between DC and Marvel. You're welcome, superhero fans. You are welcome that I am willing to go that far. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I will do it. I'm offering the freeness to DC first. Suicide Squad versus Syndicate X. We can all tweet it to the director. Let's make it happen. Why not? Who wouldn't want to see a new group of superheroes? Who wouldn't want to see a new era of superheroes? A new group that's fresh, that isn't made from a comic book semi-odd years ago. Anyways, that's all for this episode, this review. I don't know what's coming up next, as usual, so this has been Thomas Jr., aka Mustached Tom, and I'll see you guys next time.